is called environ. So it means encircle. What is encircled is over. What is around is our environment, right? It is in simple words we can say everything which surrounds us is called environment. So for the one, my environment is the room I am living in now, right? That's my environment. So environment can be defined as all surrounding conditions. It means the air, the temperature, so even the weather pattern here, everything encompasses in that environment the topic. At the same time, it is physical environment. එතකොට අපි කියන්නේ තියෙන ගහක් කොළ නම් මනම් ඒ කියන්නේ තියෙන වාතය, ජලය, ඒ වගේ භෞතික දේවල් සහ in that in addition that animal life, plant and animals, they also parts of our environment. That's our environment, right? These are some very basic definitions about environment I found from the internet. The surroundings or conditions in which a person, animal or planet lives or operates. So the area we are operating, right? The 3D environment we are operating is our environment. Or in other words, it's a natural world as a whole, or in particular geographical area. So Sri Lankan environment or South Asian environment, right? Or maybe mountainous environment, river environment, ocean environment, right? Those are some. And again, those environments are very much affected by human activity, right? It's well known that it's very much affected. And in most of the time, we are surrounded by our environment, right? And we have physical, chemical, and biotic factors. Biotic factors are animals, as I told you earlier, plants and animals. That's our environment. So if I very simply say where we live is our environment, right? What is surrounding us is our environment. So in my case, so there are three main parameters. For example, physical or abiotic. Lithosphere means solid, the earth and everything is solid one. Hydrosphere means liquid. Atmospheric means gas. So this is very, very simply I am saying, right? Physical environment or abiotic, non-living. Then biotic, flora and fauna. Flora means all plant items. Fauna means all animal items, right? Then in addition to that, we can find man-made environment. Our culture, our society, right? Our economy is our man-made environment. Right? Those are very basic in the components of our environment. So in my case, this is why I'm a marine scientist, right? My environment is this, right? When I go to the field, underwater world is my environment, right? Therefore, I will take some examples from underwater world, right? And this is my environment where I am living. But at the moment, my environment is my office room, which is surrounded by me, right? And in addition to that, we can find in the ocean seagrasses or kelp or maybe mangroves, right? And seaweeds. Those are kind of environment. Then we can find coastal environment, ocean environment, right? And mountainous environment. So various definition various components we can identify if you look carefully. And these are the animals. In my case, I am living with corals, so maybe this is a whale shark, right? And this is a turtle surrounded by lots of other fish species. And this is another we call it as an aquatic environment. So where we have a small lake surrounded by very picturesque, it's a very beautiful scenery, right? So if I go to our history, so I think you have a very basic idea about our environment, right? If you go to our history, the main environmental issues people or human discuss was very simple, right? Around 1950s, 1960s. 50 60 කාලෙදී අපි කතා කරේ වෙන වෙන පරිසර ප්‍රශ්න ගැන කතා කරේ එක. හරිද? මුල් එක තමයි this animal migration. Animal migration to countries, especially in Africa, right? So the problems they are encountering, right? Those are things we discussed. And again, if I take Nile River, so this is uh, uh, South, this is Africa. So Nile River starts from Tanzania and Ethiopia. It ends up in Mediterranean, right? Egypt, Alexandria, there's a Nile, Nile Gang Mo estuary, right? So this Nile River cut across number of countries. Then water issues with countries, because for example, if Ethiopia stops water, if Ethiopia develop a dam, the whole rest of the countries will be affected, right? So those are the sort of things we discussed at the very beginning. So even now, the Ethiopia is having a problem because they are building a big, dam called Grand Renaissance Dam. So you can see the dam, the size of the dam, the planned, reservoir. So even now, it's a problem there, right? In Ethiopia, and again in Sudan and Egypt, because once Ethiopia is, it's a water resource there. There's a, there's a place, the river, the Nile River get most of the water, right? So these are the issues we discussed very early. අපි මේ කලින් කතා කරන ප්‍රශ්න තමයි මේ ලෝකෙදී ප්‍රශ්න එකක් තමයි සත්තු මයිග්‍රේට් කරන. ඊට පස්සේ තමයි මේ ජල ප්‍රශ්නය. හරිද? ඊට පස්සේ තමයි තෙල් විසිරීම, oil spills, right? Large oil spills happened in 1960s, 70s, right? So if you go here, this is the first one. In 1967, right, in English Channel, there's a sea passage between England and France. That's called English Channel. Okay, it's in the one ship called Torrey Canyon. That ship was it grounded with crude oil, 120,000 tons of crude oil. Right? You will see it here. This is England. Further down, you can see my cursor, I hope. So this is English Channel, right? This area, this ship grounded. So this is what happened. So it grounded in England. This areas of lands and Sicily Islands. මේ තමයි තෙල් පැච් එක. ඒතකොට එංගලන්තයේ වුණ තෙල් ටික ප්‍රංශයටත් ආවා. Right? This Torrey Canyon is well known oil spill. ලොකුම oil spill 67 තමයි මේක සිද්ධ වුණා. Right? මේ තියෙන Torrey Canyon, ඇත්තටම Torrey Canyon එක දෙකට කැඩුනා. It broke into two. You can see the, and it gave a kind of eye opener. තෙල් විසිරීම කියන එක තමයි මුල්ම ගොඩක් කර කතා කරන, is one of the largest oil spill event. Then 1969, we call it as Santa Barbara. It's a oil platform එක burst through, right? It's a Santa Barbara, right? It released about 3 million gallons of crude oil again. මේ Santa Barbara එක. මේක ඇමරිකාවේ කැලිෆෝනියා වල තමයි වුනේ. ඒතර මෙන්න මේ තියෙන මේ බණ කුරුල්ලෝ මිලියන ගණන් මොකදද මිරුත් නැති වෙලා ගියේ. They perished, they died. You can see the impact of Santa Barbara oil spill. Lots of birds, lots of marine life, died. මේ තියෙන එකේ වෙච්ච ප්‍රශ්න not like express pearl, right? It's a very small one, but look at this, the damage, and you can see it's a huge kind of very, very dirty business when you go to clean this. So මේක clean කරන එකත් හරිම අමාරුයි. මොකද මේ තිබෙන crude oil, ඝන තෙල, බොර තෙල. හරිද? ඉතින් මේ ප්‍රශ්න නිසා තෙල් විසිරීම වුණා. ඒතර ඔයගේ සත්තු මයිග්‍රේට් කරන ප්‍රශ්නත් එක්ක ඊට පස්සේ අර වතුර ප්‍රශ්නත් එක්ක then the UN decided to arrange an international meeting. Then they organized first UN conference. In 1972 Stockholm, Sweden. So මේක තමයි අපි කියන්නේ මුල්ම UN environment related conference. this is a name, United Nations Environment, United Nations Conference on Human Environment. So, human ganai environment 1972 වල. එතකොට මුල්ම පරිසර ප්‍රශ්න තමයි ගොඩක් වෙලාවට කතා කරන්න පටන් ගත්තේ. ඒතර මේකේ as a result of this conference they established new agency called UNEP. ඔයගොල්ලෝ දන්නවා UNEP එක. United Nations Environment Program කියලා එකක් they established, right? In 1972 they organized UNGA in United Nations General Assembly එකේදී they formally established UNEP. UNEP එක මේ තියෙන UNEP, right? ඔයගොල්ලෝ දැකලා තියෙන මේ environment program මේකෙන් තමයි ගොඩක් is so they always talk about environmental issues and support countries and support mitigate environment problems, right? මේ UNEP එකේ headquarters in Nairobi වල UNEP එක, right? So in 1972, after 20 years, there was no big, international meetings. But in 1992, 20 years after Stockholm conference, again, ilanga රැස්වීම පැවැත්වුවා බ්‍රසීලයේ රියෝ ඩි ජනේරෝ නුවර 92 අපි ඒකට කියනවා Earth Summit එක. If not, we call it as Rio Conference. එතකොට මේකේ නම තමයි United Nations Conference on Environment and Development, UNCED. Right? There is a second largest conference happened in 1992. ඇයි මේක පැවැත්වුවේ? මොකද දැන් කලින් තිබුණේ වෙන ප්‍රශ්න ටික. ඊට පස්සේ then some more other issues. Right? So ඒකේ එක ප්‍රශ්නයක් තමයි තිබුණේ ඔය කාලේ තිබුණා first issues, right? First group of issues are poverty, දුප්පත්කම, poverty and soaring birth rates. ඊට වැඩි මිනිස්සුන්ගේ තියෙන මේ මිනිස්සු බිහි වෙනවා කියන උප්පත්ති ලැබෙන ප්‍රමාණය වැඩි. හරි especially developing countries, because developing countries දුප්පත්. ඒතර යාළගේ මිනිස්සු කියන්නේ පොඩි ළමයිත් එක පවුලක 10 12 වගේ ඇති වෙනවා, right? High birth rates. You can see poverty is extreme poverty, right? Not like poverty we see, right? Extreme poverty, and you can see they don't have food, right? And again, so they depend on others' food, others' leftovers. Even in Philippines, you can see, right? Even in Africa, if you go to those countries, you will see the real poverty, right? And again, high birth rate. You can have a පවුලකම ඉන්න පැටව ගන්න වැඩි, right? That's one of the big largest issue. The second issue is that unsustainable production and consumption, because they always depending on very high end food, whereas countries like African and other countries, they are living on very primitive food. For example, they cultivate maize. ඉරිඟු හදනවා. They eat maize. But developed countries, they cultivate maize and they feed their cattle and pigs with maize, and they eat pork and beef. Right? එතකොට ගොඩක් unsustainable development එකක් ඇතර sustainable consumption එකක් ඇතන යන්නේ. හරිද? මේ දින එතකොට මේවා හරි ගණන් මේවා. හරිද? එතකොට මේ කැම the carbon footprint කියන්නේ මේ කැම හදන්න බෑ කරන ශක්තිය, ඒ වගේ මේ කැම හදද්දි නිකුත් කරන කාබන් ඩයොක්සයිඩ් ප්‍රමාණය ඉතාමත් වැඩි. මේ කැම හදන තවත් ගොඩාක් කැම අපි විනාශ කරලා මේව හදන්න. හරිද? So the carbon footprint of this food is very much high, and they are emitting huge amount of carbon dioxide, right? And they are the cost is again high, very luxury food items, right? Then the ඒකත් එක්කන obesity, ස්ථූලතාවය, right? High consumption rate. And second group of concern were some developed countries. They were doing lots of significant damages to our climate and life support system. Climate කියන අපි දන්නවා අපේ දේශිකුත්. Life support systems are our forests, our river systems, our wetland system, our ocean. Right? Those are our life supporting system. So industrialized nations appear to capable of doing significant damages to this climate system and life supporting system. How? Normally they emit huge amount of carbon dioxide, or they huge amount of CFC, chlorofluorocarbon, that really destroy ozone layer. දැන් මේක තාම කතා කරන්නේ 1992 වල. හරිද? දැන් කතා කරන්නේ ඊට කලින් කාලෙම කතා කරන්නේ. Look at this. These are the then the greenhouse effect. So methane, nitrous oxide, ඔයගොල්ලෝ දන්නු මේවා. Carbon dioxide, ozone, right? Chlorofluorocarbon, carbon monoxide, sulfur dioxide. ඒකෝ මේවයින් ඉතා වැඩි ප්‍රමාණයක් එන්නේ huge amount of, larger portion of this greenhouse gases are emitted by developed countries. Developing අපි නෙමෙයි. Right? ගොඩක් ඉන්නේ දියුණු රටවල් වල. ඒතර ඒ වගේම දෙවෙනි ඊළඟ එක තමයි සත්තුන් විනාශ වෙලා යන එක. සත්තුන්ගේ ප්‍රමාණය අඩු වෙන එක. මොකද අපි සත්තු මත යැපෙනවා, මාළු වලනවා ගොඩක්. ඒතර මේ ඉන්නේ ඒතර they become extinct. සමහර සත්තු අපේ පොළවෙන් වඳ වෙලාම යනවා. මේ ඉන්නේ ළඟදී වඳ වෙච්ච සත්තු ටික දෙන්න. right? මේ අවුරුදු 2000 3000 කාලේ. නමුත් ඔයගොල්ලෝ net එක if you browse the net internet එක බලද්දී ඔයගොල්ලන්ට බලා ගන්න පුළුවන් කොච්චර ප්‍රමාණයක් මේ ගිය වසර 10 කොච්චර මරණද කියලා බලා ගන්නත් පුළුවන්. හරිද? ඒත් ඕන නිසා තමයි මේ UN එක මෙන්න මේ දෙවෙනි conference එක UNCED එක they organized UNCED, United Nations Conference on Environment Development in 1992, right? So ඔතන තමයි first time they started talking about sustainability for product. The word used globally, sustainability. ඒ කියන්නේ අපි කියන තිරසාර බව නැත්නම් දරණීය සංවර්ධන, right? It came. මේ තියෙන this is UNCED 1992 වල, right? Okay, as a result of UNCED තමයි මේක හැදුනේ UNFCCC, United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change එක හැදුනේ මෙන්න මෙතන ඊට පස්සේ as a result, right? අර UNCED එකේ ප්‍රතිඵලිතට මේ convention එක develop වුණේ to especially to mitigate climate change. And අපි know CBD, Convention of Biological Diversity, ඒකත් හැදුනේ මෙන්න මේ UNCED එකේ ප්‍රතිඵලයක් විදියට, right? As a result of UNCED, these two conventions, they launched Convention of Biological Diversity and United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, right? Then after 20 years of UNCED, Rio plus 20. Eka tibune again Brazil in 2012, right? United Nations Conference on, then look at the name, on sustainable development. First one is human environment, right? After that, environment and development. Now it's sustainable development, right? So this is the opening ceremony of this UNCED. You can see the participants. You will see our then president Mahinda Rajapaksa also a participant. Manmohan Singh from India, he also a participant, right? Lots of heads of delegates were there, right? Sweden, right? This is Ban Ki-moon, right? You will, if you look carefully, you will find lots of familiar faces in this group, right? So Mekari is the first time after this Rio, they developed this SDG goal, Sustainable Development Goal concept. This is a place they launched actually. Before that were Millennium Development Goals. Millennium Development Goal they improved and they launched SDG, Sustainable Development. You know, there are 17 goals. I will not talk about SDG today, but if you have a question, I can answer, right? And again, they adapted groundbreaking guidelines on green economy policies. Harita green economy, right? And again, and governments, the participant, they also decided to establish an intergovernmental process under General Assembly to especially to finance sustainable development. So those are the, this is how sustainable development, the picture came into global arena, sustainable development, right? Then what is this sustainability? Environment. Then how the sustainable development, this concept developed globally. Then what is the sustainability? Right? Sustainability mainly there are three pillars: social, environment, and economic. There's a fourth one is culture, but main these are three pillars. Sustainability, we have a sustainable development or sustainable environment or sustainable city or sustainable living, whatever. But we should have a good social life. We should ensure a healthy environment, and we should ensure a healthy economic situation, right? Economic condition. Sustainable if you have a sustainable environment, a sustainable city, we have a very nice green environment. Environment is not polluted. Very, we use, but it is in healthy form. And we have a very sound economic situation at right, in sustainable country. And we have a healthy communities, right? They are with very good, they are having very good well-being. They enjoy their life. They are not suffering. So if you can ensure these three, we can see a sustainability there, right? This is the most frequent definition. Sustainability, this sustainability, it means, so we are not conserving 100% in sustainability. We use our environment, we use our resources, but we receive or we leave a huge chunk for the benefit of future generations, right? We are not compromising their needs, right? So this is the sustainability development, came from Brundtland report. This is a very widely used definition. Development that meets the need of the present. Needs resources we use, but without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs, right? That's in sustainability. Right? These are mainly widely used, definition about sustainable development. Api use karanawa, namuth eking api anagatiye thira sampath vinasha karanne, right? That's sustainability. So what actually contributing unsustainability? Because when we have a sustainability, then we should have unsustainability. What is unsustainability? Overconsumption, right? We are so greedy. We gas kapanawa, very poor, avasya. Ahara gannawa, very poor yanawa, anabavida karnawa, tamangi basikyanti, the karakiyanawa, right? Light dagan, show off karnawa, right? Overconsumption. And our population growth. So if you check the curves are always increasing. We have a very good, very high population source, and we are depending on non-renewable energy. Non-renewable, right? Telha gas. Api ganno namuth making gatra me hadenne. Api kale khapano kale hadenna avasthawa api denne, right? අපි ඊට පස්සේ මුහුදෙන් fisheries වලට සම්පත් නෙලා කරනවා මලුන්ට හැදෙන්න කලක් දෙන්නේ නැහැ. Therefore they become non renewable. ඒ වගේම pollution අපි pollute කරනවා. Look at Negombo Lagoon, right? Look at your roadsides in Negombo, right? Look at your mangroves. How bad we are. කොච්චර කපනවද කියලා. හරිද? ඒ වගේම destructive development patterns. So අපි ගෙවල් හදද්දී දැන් අපි දන්නවා ලංකාවේ in Sri Lanka we have a restricted land. We are an island. අපි තාම හැබැයි ගෙවල් හදන්නේ horizontally. ගම් පැතිරෙන කැලේට පැතිරෙන ගම්. අපි අර උඩට තට්ටු නිවාස හදන එක අඩුයිද? ඇත්තම නෑ වගේ තමයි. කොළඹද තිබ්බට ඈත ගියාම ඒක නෑ. So we have issue with our forest. Our forests are shrinking. අපේ තියෙන කැලේ දැන් පොඩ පොඩ අඩු වෙනවා. Our rivers are drying out, right? And we mine sand from rivers, right? And lots of bank erosion. It was agricultural. We take lands, right? Destructive development patterns, and in equity means valuable සම්පත්. හරිද? එතකොට we have very huge larger portion of very poor people. The resource හරියට බෙදලා ගිරනේ අපි අතරේ. And ඊට පස්සේ in development activities very limited or poor public participation. මිනිස්සු සම්බන්ධ වෙනවා වඩා. ඒගොල්ලෝ they just live and politicians and others come and install development projects. හරිද? ඒතර public participation එක අඩුයි. For example, if we arrange a Ramadana, people they don't come, right? And in environment cleanups, if we invite them, they will come. Otherwise, they will not, very slim or very low volunteerism in our planet. Right? And failure to recognize fundamental limits to the Earth's ability to withstand it. අපි හිතනවා මේ අපේ තියෙන කැලෑ or forest or මුහුද or our ecosystem we think that අපි හිතනවා මේකට හැම දෙයක්ම දරා ගන්න පුළුවන් කියලා. No, they have a limit, they have a threshold. And suburban sprawl, ඒ කියන්නේ අපේ cities are spreading. හරිද? ඒ වගේම loss of open space and agricultural lands are losing. Degradation of water resources, loss of wetlands, traffic congestion, air pollution, exposure to environmental hazards. Again, floods, flash rains, earthslides, tsunami, tornadoes, right? Droughts, right? Those are the environmental hazards, very frequent because of this unsustainability. So how we observe unsustainability? These are the factors. We observe global warming, right? Sea level rise and coastal erosion, and we observe soil degradation, right? We observe deforestation, right? It was a pollution එක පේනවා. සත්තු විනාශ වෙලා යනකොට පේනවා. Declining fisheries, මාළු සම්පත් අඩු වෙනවා පේනවා. ඒ වගේම අපේ economic equity, අපේ තියෙන economy එක ආර්ථිකය සමාන නැහැ කී ප්‍රශ්න ගොඩක් තියෙනවා අපිට පේනවා. Right? This really shows our unsustainability, right? The level of unsustainability. Those are the indicators, right? So how we convert that into sustainability, right? That's the issue. So we can shift to renewable resources. Okay, so for the moment we are using non-renewable. We can shift into renewable. We can protect or manage our ecosystems. We can manage our forest, wetlands, mangroves, or maybe ocean environments. We can protect. So we can avoid excess pollution. We can reduce our pollution, right? Our waste generation rate we can reduce. We can use our own bags. We can go to 3R, 4R conceptual tanable, right? Target welfare, not GDP. So අනිතරම අපි බලනවා මිනිස්සුන්ගේ සහ සුභ සිද්ධිය, welfare of our environment, welfare of people, not gross gross GDP එක gross development anyway GDP inter generational decisions. So when we take decisions, it should be cross cutting. So if we take all should be there, right? Long term consequences. This is how we convert that unsustainability into sustainability, right? So this is the environment we expect, right? So I will now take some case studies for you, right? So these are the environment rainforest we expect, right? But this is what we have, right? In our planet, in our country, right? Even in Indonesia, the same. Lots of logging, I know that. Lots of pollution in Jakarta, right? In rivers, right? And lots of issues with your coral reefs, because I've been to Bali and Jakarta, so I know the problems. And high poverty in some areas of cities. Now you are trying to move Jakarta to another area, right? And these are the mangroves we really expect, especially in Negombo. So we want to have very pristine mangroves, very lasana kadulana තියෙනවා අපි හිතන්නේ. Megamo කලපුවේ නමුත් Megamo කලපුවේ is the one තමයි ලංකාවේ තියෙන worst polluted කලපුවක් තමයි Megamo කලපුව. හරිද? ගන්නම දෙයක් නැහැ. But this is what we see if you go into the lagoon, right? All the toilets and the kalapuat, all the Megamo minisu mama danno when they pass Negombo lagoon, they just dump their garbage bags. I have seen that. I have been to Negombo lagoon more than 50 times. So mama danno how they do it. This is a pollution within lagoon Negombo, right? These are not actually from Negombo, but you can see the same situation. Queen Islands here, you will see solid waste pollution in Negombo lagoon, right? And again, that is mangrove pollution, this mangrove destruction, right? You cut mangroves, you reclaim mangrove lands, right? You reclaim mangrove lands, you dump pollutants into the land, right? You can see how we treat this pristine lagoon, Negombo lagoon, right? And if you go into ocean, destructive fishing, dynamite, you can see dynamite. This is dynamite malu. This is a coral reef before dynamiting. This is same coral reef after dynamiting. When on a damage, you can see the before after dynamiting. So no animal at all, right? But this is another place, another shipwreck, lots of fish. This is after dynamite, right? You can see before after situation in shipwrecks, right? These are bottom set nets, right? But when you take this bottom set nets on the coral reef, this is illegal, this is destructive, right? But when you take it out, you can see how it comes. All the corals kadaගෙන තමයි the coral විනාශ කරනවා. And මෙතන බලන්නකො tourists they walk on corals, right? Really unsustainable. Then pollution, liquid pollution. This is oil pollution happening in Dikkovit, you know, this area. And this is another ship make out in 2018 Daniela, MSC Daniela මේක ඉනිගත්තා ඔගොල්ලෝ කවුරක්වත් දන්නේ නැහැ ඒක ලොකුට කියන්නේ නැහැ මේ is ලෝකේ තියෙන one of the 4 largest ships ලෝකේ තියෙන ලොකුම නැව් හතරෙන් එකක් තමයි මේක. නමුත් මේ කොළඹට ගෙනාවා. ඊට පස්සේ then new diamond ship, right? New diamond ship and then express pearl. Yeah, totally sure that express pearl එක බලද්දි මේ නැව ලොකු නැවක්. ඒ වගේ 3-4 ගුණයක් ලොකුයි, right? මේක ඇත්තේ බලද්දි express pearl එක නිකන් පොඩි වෑන් එකක් වගේ, right? Then coastal pool. This is Sarakkuwa Negombo. Mama got a picture. This is one of my pictures. Sarakkuwa Negombo, closer to your area. This is Vellavatta, right? So now you can understand, are we really living on a sustainable world, right? Are we really leading a sustainable life? Well, 2017 we did a coastal cleanup. So we collected about per year. It is estimated that we are releasing about 32 million or 33 million kilograms of waste to the ocean. Estimation from 2017. Then this is the dolphin life we are having, marine mammals. This is marine sharks, but this is what we do, right? We kill them, right? But we are removing top predators. අපි ඉන්න විලෝපිකයන් ලස්සන සත්තු මුදෙන් අයින් කරනවා. ඊට පස්සේ ස්පියර් ගන් කියන එක මේ මුදේ. මේකෙන් අපි මාළු විදිනවා. එතන මේ ඉන්න ලාජ අපි කියනවා මේක hump head wrasse කෙනෙක්. මේ සතා ගොඩක් we can use in tourism. Right? මේ සතා එකතන ඉන්නේ. එයාගේ ඒරියා එක කියලා ඉන්නේ. අපිට මෙයාගේ බලන්න පුළුවන්. නමුත් ලංකාවේ this what is how we treat them in Sri Lanka. Right? So this looks good, but this is a coral reef. But looks good, looks very beautiful, but this is a dead reef, like a Marilati, right? And our monkey, when we release lots of carbon dioxide and greenhouse gas, they trap huge amount of energy. Then what happens when you have more energy? It converts into cyclones, tornadoes, right? Very devastating. I think our Indonesian friend, she knows the impact of the tornadoes and especially cyclones, how powerful these are, right? These are the tornado, system. Then then tornadoes, right? This is the cyclone patterns, especially, right? And this is my story about unsustainability and environment. So what is environment? How we should treat it? You should know. You should have an idea. But how we convert it unsustainable because of our greediness. අපේ පෙරේතකම නිසා තමයි කරන්නේ. පරිසරය ගැන හිතන්නේ නැහැ. අපි අනිත් මිනිස්සු ගැන හිතන්නේ නැහැ. right? අපි නිතරම ඒ නිසා තමයි මේ හැම ප්‍රශ්නයකටම මුල. ඒ නිසා මම හිතනවා මේක ගැන දැනුවත් වෙලා ඔයගොල්ලෝ. හරිද? ඔයගොල්ලෝ beach cleanup කරන්න පුළුවන් ඔයගොල්ලෝ. Since you are scouts from Negombo, ඔයගොල්ලන්ට you can mainly focus on your lagoon, Negombo lagoon. හරිද? Negombo lagoon is a kind of සල්ලි ආකාරයක් ඔයගොල්ලන්ට ලස්සන මේන්ටේන් කරගත්තොත් ටූරිසම් වලට ඉකෝ ටූරිසම් වලට ඒ වගේම ලස්සන පරිසරයකට ඔයගොල්ලන්ට ගිහිල්ලා ඒක ලස්සන රසින්න ඔයගොල්ලන්ට ඒ කියන්නේ අඩු ගන්න මානසික සාහනයක් ලැබෙනවා ඒ ලැගූන් එකෙන් හරිද එතකොට නමුත් go to lagoon Negombo lagoon you will see how polluted the lagoon is right එතකොට scouts can get together scouts ලගේ මම දන්නවා we have a big community ඕගොල්ලෝ පරණ කට්ටිය එකතු වෙලා හරිද ලැගුන් එක සම්පූර්ණ මේ හදා ගන්න පුළුවන් නම් අයි තිබුණ හැටියට මම කිව්ව ලස්සන පික්චර්ස් වල විදියට you can convert Negombo lagoon into a very sustainable lagoon. That's one single thing. If you know, you can convert Negombo into a nice very shady city, right? ලස්සන රටක් විදියට මම I'll show you. This is my presentation show, but I will show you some. You can aware people. You can aware people about your colleagues, the people in your village. You can aware them about this unsustainability, and you can group them, and you can participate in those coastal cleanup programs, right? And like this, and you can keep your coast clean, right? These are larger cleanup we arranged. This is in Negombo. And globally you don't need, but you can start blue flag beaches in Negombo. Blue flag is very healthy beaches. It's a certification, right? And you can pick up litter. You can buy less packaged items. Packaged items are once you buy packaged items, it convert into waste. You can use your own bags when you shop, right? As scouts. And you can spread that news to your family members. You can go into 3R methods: reduce, recycle, and even you can go to 6R methods. When you go to temples, your churches and temples you can convert into non-plastic shrines. Plastic nathi areas will convert, because this is how we took flowers to those temples when we were child, right? In these cane trays, you can see the cane tray, but now everything is plastic flowers, plastic garlands, So we use straws, and when we use this, there are 3 plastic items we throw away. But when you use a water bottle, 5 plastic items you are throwing away, right? The seal, lid, the ring, bottle, and the label. 5 things you are releasing. And if you check your classroom or your office room, all your flower baskets are plastic. Why can't you convert them into living, items? And this is pollutants. You can stop your pollutants, flowing to Negombo Lagoon by establishing these sort of barriers, and you can keep Negombo clean. You can arrange this if you have good, financial support. You can arrange this sort of beach cleaning machines. This is again from Negombo, and you can have your own shipwrecks to dive or attract tourists. Right? In Sri Lanka, we have banned number of shopping bags, carry bags. Burning polythene in public places, open spaces banned in Sri Lanka. I think you don't know that. And you can initiate research with universities. You can join with me, like, to do some research with University of Ruhuna. Get together and do some research on pollution and how to control pollution and how to establish sustainability, right? And this is all you don't need. And you can do ecosystem restoration, coral restoration in Moravala. Maybe you can. These are some restoration projects we did, and you can establish some mangrove restoration in Negombo with your friends. You can convert Negombo into city like this, very green city, very shady city, because you have very good community, the scouts all. Then you can talk to schools, you can talk to your churches and temples, right, and get together, and you can develop a movement in Negombo, right? Root ball trees. This is from Vietnam, right? So those are things you can do, because we are always fighting with development. We are always fighting with conservation. We are always fighting with people's perceptions. We need to take up happen, because if we don't take the leadership, who will take? You are the youth, right? We are the youth. I am not youth. I mean, I'm a bit older, but we should get together, right? We should develop. We should arrange. We should create a movement, at least in Negombo, right, to make a balance between development and conservation. And once you make a balance, you can take more people in. You have to show colors. You can show your outputs, right? Therefore, I think with this understanding, I will request you to do something, right, in your programs. If you keep one place as a small, if you can convert one polluted areas into a small, nicely landscape, very beautiful environment within one time, you can shift to another place in a second month. So maybe if you do that repeatedly, you can convert whole Negombo into a nice place, right? Because you slowly converting those polluted or very ugly spaces into very picturesque or very beautiful, sustainable places, right? So then you get, we commemorate Environment Day, we commemorate Ocean Day. So you can, during those days, you can arrange some cleanups, right? These are the things you can do. Think about it, right? So that's my main idea. Request think about that and engage. Do something, do something tangible, right? So with that, I stop, and I wish you all the very best, and I hope that you will understand the gravity. Actively, not wording, cutting. I hope that you will participate and engage actively in this whole, changing. Movement I do hope, right? With that, I stop I am done with my presentation. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Dr. Terney Pradeep Kumar, for your valuable session about environment and sustainability. බොහොමත්ම ස්තුතියි ආචාර්ය ටර්නි ප්‍රදීප් කුමාර් මහතාණනි. ඔබතුමන් අපහට ලබා දුන් ඒ දැනුම් සම්භාරයට.
Thank you very much, Doctor, for your valuable time given to our scouts and for the foreign participants also. I think if you have any questions, the audience, now you have time to ask from Doctor. So then Doctor will answer those questions. So because this is a very, very important session we have done to in Youth Forum. So I think because we are living in Negombo and a beautiful lagoon and a golden beach, Negombo. So we have to do more things and we have to clarify if we have any gray areas, because we have we have beautiful mangroves. So I think you have to do some projects, not in this year because we have only 2 months, but if we can plan, we can do a good project involving a doctor also. So I think he will give definitely will give us support, and I think if we are doing a good organized project, we can get the support from the national organization, and we can do all around the world, all around the Sri Lanka also. So if anything you have to ask from doctor, now you have time.
Language is not a problem. You can ask even in Sinhala, you can ask questions. Sinhala. Any question from our foreign friend, foreign?
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you for your sharing. It's really informative, and for me, it's very clear. Here, maybe I will share about in my country. We have a scout with the specialization, and one of that is about environment. So we teach our scout to how about the environment, and including reduce, reuse, and recycling, something like that. So scout in a venture or rover can join that specialization. So every scout in Indonesia, we choose specialization with our interest. Like me, I'm running a tourism scout, and we have 11 specialization. So it really helpful to encourage a young generation to how to manage or to maintain our environment. Thank you, Doctor.
Good. Good that you can share your experience with your Sri Lankan colleagues maybe in future.
Sure, sure.
Very good. Thank you. How about rules and regulations regarding polythene in Sri Lanka? Actually, we have banned polythene lunch sheets made up of HDPE, high density polyethylene lunch sheet we have banned. But still you can find lunch sheets made up of LDPE, low density polythene lunch sheets are available, right? But lunch sheet is breakable and bit thick. Very thin but very strong, high density, then low density. Just banned, right? Always go for sustainable lunch sheets, so maybe use some reusable sheets for our lunch packets. It's banned, and decorating events using polythene is banned in Sri Lanka. Mona event polythene dala decorate karna bad. Even Vesak, even Christmas, you cannot use polythene. Namuth ape Vesak walda we use Vesak lantern and cover it with the polythene sheet. Is totally illegal. Eka varadi. We cannot use polythene in decorations. Therefore, we have to stop it. You should know that. and formed lunch boxes. Form lunch box, but the lunch box tahana is banned in Sri Lanka. And we are going to ban, some sachets are banned now. Sachet packets banned. But still you can find sachets. And burning of plastic in open air, plastic burning of plastic in open air is completely banned, illegal in Sri Lanka. But we are doing it, right? So and those are some single-use plastic. Single-use plastic. Single-use plastic, and you use only once and throw it away. Your yogurt cup pack, or like your yogurt spoon, your straw, right? Those are single-use plastic. Your cotton, your plastic bud to clean your ear. If you go to Pizza Hut, lots of plastic items, plastic cutleries, everything you use and throw them away. So those are, we are going to Sri Lanka is going to ban them, but still you can avoid using them. You can have your own straw, steel straw. You can have your own your cutlery set or something environmental friendly cutleries, right? Look at your home garden, how many plastic items you can find. Look at your road in front of your home, how many plastics in your road sides and in your ditches. Clean them. At least try to clean your roadside by yourself. You are a scout, right? So that when we pass your home, we can understand there's a person who is living in this house is really environmental friendly. He's a lover for the community, right? Those are not big things, right? From a family, you can do it. Your Sunday morning after church, you can clean your the roadside in front of your house. By doing that, you can convert Negombo into a very nice, very clean city, right? What we need is your commitment and your energy, right? Don't go to the gym. You use your energy by cleaning the roadsides, right? So this is a service you can do. So think in that way. You are the youth. Don't be shy, right? At the beginning, people will laugh at you, but later they will laugh at themselves, right? Right? Think in that way. So I know Negombo, Negombo people, they are very energetic. They are always outgoing. They want to do a change. So use it. Get together, because in Scouts you have a big community. You can get the support from your parents, teachers, friends in your area, right? Go organize yourself and do it.
Sir, I have a question.
Okay.
Sir, is there anything else other than polythene that causes pollution? Please let us know so we can reduce those things.
Yeah, first polythene and plastic. So you go to your kitchen and look around how many unsustainable products you are using, Puta, right? So the plastic bags, plastic bottles, right? And even your brush, right? Your comb, everything is polythene. Even think how you discard your clothes once you release it. Think how you discard it, right? So, and when you buy food, even when you buy your bread or even leaves, when you buy from the market, you buy it with polythene, right? And when you go to the shop, when you go shopping from your house, think how many people take their cars instead of walking, right? So in Sri Lanka, in the morning, people go for jogging, right? They take their car, drive maybe 10 kilometers to the jogging center, the jogging path, then they jog. Why can't they walk all the way, right? So this is how we have to think, right? So in your room, you see how many shoes you are having, Puta, right? So you might have maybe more than 15 t-shirts or 20 t-shirts. Think how much you are using, right? Be sustainable, reduce your product, reduce your use, right? And so those are the things we can easily do, right? Because we as a person, you can do a lot. Think about that, thinking that way, right? So how many plants you have planted at your house or in your village, in your church, in your school, right? Danuja, how many plants you have planted so far, if you can remember?
So far, sir, we have planted more than 20 plants in our home, like vegetable plants, fruit plants, and others.
Good. Yeah, sure. Keep that going. So convert your home garden into a green, very shady, like a small forest patch, right? So that is how I converted my house. It's kind of small forest patch. I can watch birds from my house. I can watch animals from my house, right? Because not only us, they also should live. They also should, eat, right? It's not only humans, even other animals should live, right? So that's why we need sustainable environments, right? When you have a sustainable environment, we will get sustainable communities, right? When you go to Negombo town is a desert, kind of desert, there's no way, there's no shade. If you want to go to a shade, you have to jump into a shop. There's no trees in Negombo town, right? There are some trees actually, but right. So convert Negombo is into more environmental friendly city. So you can do that, Daluja, right? So get together, and through your movement, you can do it.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
So I have a question for you. In nowadays, ACs are graded in R600A gas. Can you explain what is that?
Yeah. Those are, I think this is, under UNFCCC, under United Nations Convention on Climate Change, all the countries, we should stop CFC gases, fluorocarbon. Therefore, we are converting into gases. Those are not harmful, and again, those we converting into gases. Those are biodegradable, and those have, they are not actively damage our environment or our atmosphere, right? This is a kind of target given to us. Therefore, I think by 2020 or 2030, we have to stop all CFC gases. And in our three-wheelers, you are not allowed to buy two-stroke three-wheelers, tuk-tuks, because two-stroke three-wheelers are more polluting. Right now, it's a four-stroke now. But if you go to Negombo Lagoon, you will find lots of boats with two-stroke engine. We have to stop that also, right? So those are the things in AC. Yes, great in R600. So in air conditioning, R600A is, I don't know, is a converter or some catalyst. I don't know about this, that especially R600A, the term, but all are to reduce air pollution and reduce the future air pollution, right? So those are the initiatives taken by globally, and even now we are implementing them locally, right?
Okay, sir.
Thank you. Any question? Right, and at the end of the year, you think back, right, and try to understand what I have done for my country, what I have done for my planet, what I have done for my communities within this year, right? Then you will understand the damage you have done, right? But if you look back, you will understand that you have not done much, right? Because for this planet needs about 3 trillion trees to stop climate change, not to stop, the reduce. 3 trillion plants, trees. Trillion is million into million, right? So at least think about that way, how many trees the planet need, right, to reduce, to make our atmosphere cool. You know, when I was a kid, we never used air conditioning. We never use fans in our houses. Now always my fan is rotating. At night sometimes I switch on my air conditioning, right? So it really shows that our planet is, you know, slowly getting heated up. So when you become fathers and when you become, you know, big cities, you know, mature citizens, the situation will be more, you know, aggravated. Therefore, to stop that, you have to act now.
I have another question.
Okay.
So since the system to get rid of electronics are poor in Sri Lanka, so what is the best way to get rid of electronics in our house?
Yeah, those are called e-waste. You mean e-waste, right? Yes, e-waste. They are, you know, still we have as a country, there are a number of initiatives are there. Those are not laid at ground level. For example, අපි කියන ඒගොල්ලෝ කියන රටින් කියනවා අපේ CFC bulb එකතු කරනවා කියනවා. නමුත් there's no at I don't have any place to, you know, hand them over. So when you discard our computers, televisions, I don't know අපි දන්නේ කොහෙද දාන්නේ කියලා. Right? So ඔය දැනුවත්භාවය රටේ අඩුයි. එතකොට අපිට e-waste generate වෙන එක මොකද we use computers, we use electronics, we use TV, ඔක්කොම හදනවා. නමුත් ඒව ඩම් කරන්න තාම හරි there's no proper system in the country. So e-waste is a problem. Right? නමුත් what you can do is ඔයාගේ phone battery, විසි කරන phone, whatever you know, and CFL bulbs, කවදා හරි දෙනකන් you can keep a collection without just dumping. නමුත් අපි කරන්නේ dump කරලා කුණුත් එක්ක we send mixed waste. Waste එකේ we have phone batteries, battery, organic waste, plastic, polythene, ඊට පස්සේ chemical waste, all are there, right? So you can segregate them and you can send organic waste out with organic waste, but you can keep at your house e-waste, bulbs, batteries, so you can keep it. That will not smell. පස්සේ දවසක බලලා පොඩ්ඩක් ගිහලා බලලා if there's a collecting center or even glass, metals, give them, right? But for the moment there's no proper system in Sri Lanka to collect e-waste.
Sir, I have a question for you.
Okay.
How can we manage our home waste like leftovers and others?
Yeah, in home waste, definitely I always encourage you to segregate. You know, segregate is a must at our home. But once you segregate it, you are as I mentioned earlier, you can keep you know, e-waste, others as a collection until you submit that to a real collecting center. For organic waste or compostable waste, you can do two things. You can bury them. You know, if you have a larger garden, larger land, you can bury them. So you can have a pit and you bury, you collect those your organic waste into that pit. Once the pit is full, you can cover it and leave it for maybe several months. Then you can plant a tree there, right? Then you can dig another pit if you have a larger land. If not, what you can do is you collect them and you have to hand that over to the municipality. Once you in that process, you have to keep it with you until the collector comes. Don't just dump that in front of your house. Why? Because then lots of crows and dogs come and scatter that, right? Keep it with you. Once the tractor comes, just hand right? So if you can, at least if you can keep your, if you can bury your organic waste at your household level, at your, in your garden, there's a best option, because you can, it will slowly convert into compost in your soil, in your land. You can plant a tree there, right? And you can reduce the waste to the municipality, right? Because those compostable waste are very, we can use them. You can have composting bin if you have a larger land, right? If you don't have a land, it's another story. Then you can definitely have to hand them over to the municipality. Otherwise, keep them with you. You treat them, and you will have your own composting. Use your own compost for your own plants, your flower pots, your vegetable gardens. Then because in your free time, do that without sticking into your mobile phone and browsing everywhere and chatting without chatting, right? That will really give you some satisfaction. Harida.
Okay, sir.
Guys, please ask if you have any question, because our next session is going to have a group discussion. So in that group discussion, you may want to implementing new ideas and new project concept to build up and to protect the environment. So if you have any clarification, please ask from the doctor. So he will answer your questions. So once again, I remind you, if you have any question, concerns, please ask from the doctor. So he will answer your questions. Thank you.
Otherwise, we can wind up now, right? I think you can break it into groups, but I will not be available for the next session, right, Milinda?
Yeah, okay, sure, doctor. Thank you. Thank you very much, doctor, once again for your details and for your clarifications, and hope all the scouts will get a better understand to how to protect the environment and how these things are going. And now you have ideas about how to protect the environment and sustainability. So thank you very much, doctor, again for joining with us today for the first ever Negombo District Youth Forum as a second day first lecture. So thank you very much again, doctor, for your great participation for us today.
Thank you, and I also convey my best wishes to the team, Negombo Youths, for their first forum. I think that you will be able to convene the same forum annually. I hope that will work out, and I expect this will be a game changer. So these young scouts will do something to Negombo when I come to Negombo next time, maybe next year. Definitely, you will show me some, some physical changes, how you convert Negombo into more. We'll start from Negombo first. Then we can go, we can spread that news to Furan globally, our Indonesian friend. But do something, but I need to see something physically. The actions you have taken is the most important thing. I hope that will be a reality soon. I wish you all the very best for your all the initiatives, and I hope that you will take this positively and do something to our planet, right?
Yes, thank you very much, doctor. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye bye. All the very best. Bye. 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 Bye.